I remember when we first started the church, Elizabeth and I, in 2000, we became pastors of the church. But in 1997, here in Humboldt Park, we were presented with the opportunity to be a shelter for homeless people. And for a good part of our ministry, for 35 years, we really didn't do outside stuff. Right? We were in internal, for the most part, a church that was internal. But when this presented itself to us to be an external gospel, the church agreed to open up what's called today River of Life. River of Life opened up its doors in 1997. And River of Life houses potentially 35 homeless women and children. That was started, but I remember our first client. And I remember that the building right next to the Spanish campus, that you and I know, the Spanish campus, right next to that was a drug-infested building in the 70s and the 80s. And the 90s, we ended up buying the building as a church. We were a small church back then, maybe 68 people. We bought this building. And we bought the building with the intent to have like a little place for quinceañeras, sweet 16s and so forth. That was the intent, to have like a little banquet area. But when this presented itself to be a church, to be a light and a salt for people, after spending $50,000, in 1997, $50,000, you could have said $5 million. For 68 people, $50,000 is a lot of money. Well, finally, the church agreed to convert it into a shelter. And our first client came. Beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. She came and we treated her like she was living in the Hilton, in this shelter. We gave her 3 meals a day. She had a place to shower. And she came, and our women of the church, our women, you all, loved on her. What we did not know was the woman had AIDS and that she was going to die. We didn't know that when we opened up the shelter. It was almost as if God was looking for a place, a church, that would be the salt and the light for this soul that she only had a few weeks, maybe a month to live. And as a church, we became the salt and the light to this woman. And she finally died. And I remember going to the funeral of this woman that was just with us for no less than a month. And her children came to me and said, Pastor, I want to thank you for taking in my mom. Her last month of life, she was at this church. And you guys loved on my mom. And I was in tears because we loved on this girl. We just loved her. We just wanted to show Jesus. We wanted to be the salt in the light. We didn't want to just preach a message and then not do it. Today, River of Life still stands, serving women. And some of you women should be engaged with that. You never know who you're going to touch. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, that person will come to get baptized and say, I got baptized because there was a woman at River of Life from your church that loved on me. She became the salt and the light. I was so bitter, but she was the salt. And she removed my bitterness by being the salt in my life.